I'm Jake Mills. I'm a comedian and the CEO of Chasing the Stigma. I decided if I was going to move on, if I was going to really recover, I couldn't lie anymore. I've spent so many months lying that I decided just to announce it on social media. I've been depressed, I tried to kill myself, this is how I tried to do it. And kind of the response that I got was just, I was not prepared for, because it was hundreds of messages from people I knew, people who were strangers, people from all over the country, different parts of the world, who were saying, what you've just described is exactly how I feel. And I didn't know anybody else was going through this. And I was getting people messaging me every single day saying, hearing my story had helped them, hearing my stories helped them realise they're going through something, hearing my stories made them want to actually go and get help, or to speak to a family member or speak to somebody about that. And it kind of made me realise that responsibility that I was taking on by speaking about that. And every single time I was being asked to give an interview, which I was, and local press, national press, I was getting more and more messages, and that, I suppose, was part of that therapy and counselling session for me, to give me fire in my belly, to give me purpose, that I felt like I had nothing to offer anybody or nothing to offer the world. So suddenly I got this purpose again. But I was kind of, I had my eyes open to an injustice that was happening, that so many people, millions of people, are all going through the same thing at the same time, feeling the exact same way, but all feeling like they were the only ones. That's what really kind of helped my recovery, and it's been a 4-year journey, and that fire is still burning. Yeah, so I done an interview on, it was for the Lorraine show, and it was on the way back from there that I started getting so many messages from people who were not just asking me for help, but people who were messaging me saying, I'm going to kill myself now and I need you to stop me. And that was like such an eye-opener, that why would they go into me? Why would they go into a complete and utter stranger? A lot of steps that somebody's going through to ask for help. Why aren't they going to a parent or to a doctor? And I kind of realised that it was two reasons. One, they were seeing somebody being where they are and come through that other side, but also they were seeing somebody who would believe them. And that was when I kind of realised, right, I've got a responsibility now. This is not just me telling my story and just leaving it, you know, going on radio and then going about my day. I have to actually do something. So I decided to take the tension away from me and to create a charity called Chasing the Stigma, a national mental health charity, to try and make a difference for people, to try and be a bit, to normalise mental health, to have a voice, to have a face, to say, yeah, all of us have got mental health, everyone in the world's got mental health. And more importantly, to make the help and support as easy as possible to find. Because I was getting people coming to me asking, where do I go? How do I get help? And I was saying, go to your doctors. And my experience of the doctors wasn't great. So I was saying, go to your doctors, and I was thinking, I hope that works. I hope it wasn't like my experience. So I started learning more about the organisations, the grassroots organisations that exist around the country that offer life-saving support. But they were so hard to find. So through Chasing the Stigma, we set up Chasing the Stigma. And then I came up with the idea of the Hub of Hope, which is a national mental health database to find help and make help as easy as possible to find. Originally, it was kind of just for me, for when people were coming to me, so I could at least direct people. But then we've been able to build that in. There is help available. You know, you can talk about it, you can get help. There is a way through, and there's always someone to talk to, and there's never ever any need to suffer in silence and to suffer alone. The one thing that I've learned through my experience and how I felt was how wrong I was, to feel like there was never any hope, to feel like there was never any hope, to feel like I would be judged. And that's not my fault, but that's the one thing I would say to people now is, there is always hope, there is always a way through, no matter what you're thinking, no matter what you're feeling. Somebody else has either felt it, thought it, or is currently feeling it.
It'd be really handy if they were like flying like up in the sky instead of just by the trees, you know.
Oh, why do you not get the stand?
Friendship or having a child, which is one thing that I always wanted. But now I'm in my own house, running a charity, about to get married in a couple of months and got a 2-year-old son. He is the proof that there is always a way through, no matter how bad it seems, no matter how you kind of feel that nobody's going to be on your side. There will always be somebody on your side, and there's always hope no matter what.